Hey, it's me, Steve. It is October 31st, 2017. Time is 8:01. It is 34 degrees Fahrenheit out, and it's a Tuesday. But it is Geo-Rant time. I believe this is Geo-Rant number 69. But anyway, I am going to talk today about why when people send me pictures or hand me a polished rock, I generally won't identify them for them. Under special circumstances, I will. And this is why. Well, first I'm going to show you why it's really hard to identify a rock from a picture. Even if it's just like a rock. It's hard enough to identify a rock in a box. But at least you could do that if you had the proper tools. But if just a picture doesn't tell anything, because color and shape aren't diagnostic of rock type. Alright? This. Alright? It's a basalt. Alright, well, that actually isn't color. It just doesn't look like it. It's a dark black microcrystalline or micritic rock. And it's igneous in origin. Alright, means cooled lava. This is also a black micritic rock. This is a limestone. It's a sedimentary rock. It's not a totally different rock type, and black limestones are rare. If I just saw this sitting in a box with no identification on it, and I didn't have anything to look at it with in detail or use acid to test it, I'd probably go, oh yeah, that's a basalt. This is also a basalt. This looks like a lot of other things, like scoria and stuff, or even a piece of pitted concrete. All right? When people think of limestones, they usually don't think of black rocks. They usually think of something like this, but this looks a lot like something else I'm going to get into, like quartzites. And that crystalline structure, if you don't know. I mean, obviously there's fossils in it. That's a key indicator it's not igneous. But here we have a typical granite, coarse-grained pegmatitic granite, all right? Hornblende rich, hornblende granite. And this is a gray granite, slightly finer grained, but it's still a granite. This doesn't have a lot of alkali feldspar in it. This is a pink or red granite, although that's what the web page said, although I think it's closer to an alkali, or closer to a cyanite, even though it does have quartz in it. You can see some of it in this corner and stuff, but there's a lot of red alkali feldspar in this. But see, sometimes from a picture you can tell, because I just went off on a little side rant, and I started looking at the minerals in it. But this is a coarser grained rock, and it's a good picture. It's a lot easier to tell, especially the coarser the grains. But I mean, you can still. What's this? Looks like a granite. Looks like a coarse grained granite. It's sedimentary. It's an arkose. It's a feldspar rich sandstone that's been consolidated. This is also an arkose, which this one looks a lot like a weathered granite can look. See how difficult this can be? One of these in this picture is not a quartzite. Can you guess which one? One's a marble. This is the marble. The other two are quartzites. Both metamorphic rocks whose crystalline structures have been rearranged, and quartz and calcite have similar crystal structures. They're both sedimentary, or they're all three of them are sedimentary in origin, but it's still difficult to tell from a picture. Also difficult to tell would be a polished rock, because even if you have the tools to identify a mineral with you and a good hand lens, what you do when you look at a mineral or a rock is you're looking for things characteristic of certain minerals. Even if you're looking at a rock, you look for things like striations, cleavage planes, fractures, crystal faces if possible, certain impurities, luster, stuff like that, streak. But when you polish a rock, okay, you are getting rid of a lot of those on the surface, like you're getting rid of any obvious striations or cleavage, or stuff like that. You're smoothing out a rock, just like if somebody took a piece of quartz and tumbled it and just so it was round, and I just had somebody handing me that, goes, what's that? My first reaction would probably be quartz, but it could be a number of things. It could be calcite, it could even be a feldspar. All right, it could be a lot of things. Very few minerals are obviously and easily identifiable that are polished, and labradorite's one because its optics are really characteristic. But anyway, that's just it. I just wanted to explain that to you. Somebody actually gave me a bunch of polished stones, and I was only able to identify one, and one was labradorite. But anyway, that's it, and I hope you learned something.